Hello and welcome to Ausbiz Capital Investor Connect. Today we're speaking with LTR Pharma and Chief Operating Officer Peter McLennan joins me now. Peter, some promising results from your latest clinical trials. What are they?
Yes, well, last year we had our pivotal pharmacokinetic clinical study, which showed that we had a 470% faster onset rate than the current gold standard of care for erectile dysfunction treatment.
And how successful has the online telehealth platform partnership been since its official launch?
It's been successful. It's getting its name out there. It's building its presence at the moment. It's a joint venture with a key opinion leader in the space in sexual health. And they're leading the charge on it with their expertise, and they've got decades of sexual health therapy under their belt, and it's going very well. But we're only just starting.
All right. So you recently completed a $25 million capital raise. So how will those funds be used?
We'll be using them this year and into the end of 2026. We're now funded to effectively commercialisation. It will help us establish our base in the US, looking at how do we commercialise it over there, but obviously very importantly, our engagements with the TGA and the FDA, which are all this year.
And on that, how will you be scaling manufacturing capabilities for that anticipated US market entry? And what's the timeline for the FDA approval?
Well, the FDA approval, we're going to be meeting with them this quarter to what they call a pre-IND meeting. And that's where we sit down and talk with the FDA about the information that we have and what they might be looking for, and then start looking at timelines from there. For the US side of things, obviously it's the biggest market. So at the moment, we're looking at how do we actually manage or manufacture the product over there, and also how would we actually distribute it, because there's many different channels that we can go down over there and globally.
And Viagra, of course, has huge name recognition, synonymous with ED. So how are you thinking of marketing? Is it necessary to knock the incumbent off its perch?
Well, the incumbent has been knocked off to an extent. I mean, everyone knows on the street what Viagra is, that little blue pill. It's dominated by generic drugs, which are, also, they're exactly the same thing, but very inexpensive. But they all have the same fundamental problem where it goes through the digestive system. So it's competing for attention, as it were, with your digestive system to get absorbed into your bloodstream. Whereas we have a fundamentally different way of getting the drug into your system. It's faster and it's more consistent than going through the stomach. So it will be down to the individual's choice. They can, on one hand, use the Viagra and type, the generic types of any oral medicine of that type, and wait for an hour, maybe not have a meal, maybe not drink alcohol, because that actually that has an effect on its effectiveness. Or they could use our product, which works in around 10 minutes, and it doesn't matter what you've had, what meal you've had, if you've drunk alcohol, that sort of thing. And so really it's going to be a choice of how are you going to use the product. And I think I know which direction most people are going to go.
And when it comes to the marketing side of things, how are you thinking of doing that differently to make yourself stand out?
Well, I think really just the product itself, but also there's a lot of interest in our product, and not just from the big pharmas of this world, or it's from men's health organizations, online organizations who are already selling these types of products, and also just more traditional pharmaceutical distribution type companies. We're having discussions with a lot of these and have been for some time. And then also it's the online presence, having an online presence ourselves. So I think we're covering all the bases there, and we're moderately spoiled for choice on that front.
And you're currently working to increase the shelf life of Spontan. So what are you aiming for?
As long as possible, of course, but we want to be able to increase the shelf life to its maximum, effectively. So each bottle has about 16 episodes. Let's call them episodes in them, or doses in them. And so really it comes down to the individual and how active they want to be with their partner. So it could last a while, or possibly not very long if you're lucky.
And at the moment, where would you say most of the cash is being spent?
Right now, most of the cash is being spent on preparing for our engagements with the FDA, TGA, getting the knowledge out to all the GPs and the men's health businesses in and around Australia, but also in the US, establishing a base, a footprint over there, and working with our consultants, etc., to look at how do we get into the market over there, where do we produce the product over there, and also just that engagement with the FDA is a key one.
And so, Peter, what else are you expecting or hoping for the company to achieve in 2025?
Well, that's quite a lot and that we're targeting. Our plate is pretty full. What we're hoping to achieve is to raise the awareness that there's a real step change in the treatment of ED coming. And it's already here in Australia. We're lucky we have that early access scheme. We really want to be able to help men and their partners bring that spontaneity back to their intimate times, and not have to wait around for an hour for something that might happen, and not have to say, I can't eat tonight, darling, because I'm going to take the little blue pill, or whatever it may be. So we want to actually create a step change in this particular area of men's health, because it does have a massive effect on men and their partners, not just obviously physical, but also in their relationship and psychological.